Donna Crandall passed away January 8, 1999, from complications of cystic fibrosis. That year, her family made her a promise that she would never be forgotten. That simple promise has turned into one family's labor of love, supporting, connecting, and lending a hand to all of Capital Region CF patients. The year that the Donna Crandall Foundation began, there were no CF lung transplant patients living in our community. Today, there are 12. These remarkable patients underwent life-saving lung transplant surgeries all over the country and have now returned home to live, thrive, and work in our community. Tonight, we celebrate the miraculous transplant journey.
Hi, I'm Chris Young. I'm 26 years old and grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when I was 3 months old, and I've been fighting it ever since. I graduated from Allen High School in 2001 without missing too much school and started college that fall at Penn State. 4 years later, I graduated with a BS in nuclear engineering. I moved to Albany in June of 2005 to start my career as an engineer at Knowles Atomic Power Lab. I fortunately moved right next to one of the best CF clinics in the country and was introduced to a great charity, the Donald Crandall Foundation. My first experience with the foundation was by receiving a gift bag upon my first admission at Albany Med. In January 2007, I became very ill. I needed to stop work immediately and concentrate on my health and getting on a lung transplant list. My father and I went to Columbia Presbyterian Hospital to start the process. The Crandall Foundation was able to help financially through this difficult and expensive screening process. Ironically, I got the call from my new lungs while watching TV in the Donald Crandall Lounge at Albany Med. 3 years later, assistance from Donald Crandall Foundation helped offset some closing costs related to my new house. Now I have a house, a fiance, a dog, and my health. That was 2010. The Donna Crandall Foundation has been here the entire time to help us along the way. Over the last 8 years, a lot has changed, and my wife and I are here to tell you the rest of the story.
In 2011, I was blessed to marry the man of my dreams, my best friend. Shortly after that, I became a nurse on E5, which is the cystic fibrosis floor. Shortly after that, I became pregnant with twins, and in 2013, they were born. In the same time frame, we grew out of our smaller home that we had, and we bought a larger one.
Things were great until around July 4th weekend, 2015, when I realized I was a little bit short of breath running around after my nephew. The next day, I went and got checked out, and my lung functions had dropped from above 100% down to 65%. So obviously something was wrong. We started on a protocol for treating my illness for rejection. Started with high doses of prednisone to wipe out my immune system. Again, waiting months in between to see if there's any real results. I was still declining in my lung function, and the next course of action was chemotherapy. There was no success with the chemo. We didn't really notice any increase in lung function or slowing down of the decline, building all the way up until December, where I was pretty much hospitalized from that point on.
The boys at that point were staying with my in-laws in Pennsylvania. They had become sick and needed to stay longer, which actually made it easier for me to be with Chris full-time as he was extremely ill. Shortly after Christmas, the boys were well enough to come home, and we got to spend finally Christmas together in the Donna Crandall Foundation living room on E5. To be able to go into the Foundation living room and then get to climb on couches and jump and eat and have pizza and watch a movie, it was just awesome. You forgot for a moment in time that somebody was even sick.
As part of the transplant protocol, once you're placed on the list, you need to be ready to go at a drop of a dime to go down there. Within 4 hours, you need to be in the hospital, ready to go when you get that phone call. We did get several phone calls. Some of them did not work out. Those are called dry runs. So everybody's ready in the car, there, ready to commit to it, and at the last second, they tell you the organs were not good. So kind of hit the reset button and stay ready to go for the next call.
When Chris was admitted to the hospital for the final time on St. Patrick's Day of 2016, I emotionally was spent.
A few days later, I got a trach placed to help me breathe. I was having a lot of issues, and put into a medically induced coma.
It was hard as a wife to watch him get so sick so quickly, and knowing that he was fighting with every ounce of energy that he had, and it was just hard to watch him. On the day of transplant, we actually found out quite early in the morning, around 8 o'clock, that there was maybe another possible set of lungs that were quite perfect for Chris. So we finally found out around 11 o'clock at night that it was going to be a go, and that Chris was actually going to get a third chance at life. When I knew he was going to have that transplant, it just brought such joy to me, because I knew, okay, we have another chance. We have another stab at this. We can do everything that we wanted to do. We can watch the boys grow older together now, whereas before I wasn't sure. I never wanted to give into that thought, so I didn't. But getting to see Chris have another transplant is just the happiest day of my life. I knew he would get better. I knew it would take some time, but I had every ounce of me knew that this was a go this time, and that he was gonna thrive again. The first time I saw him after his transplant, I started crying uncontrollably, just to finally see my husband look like my husband again. He had color in his cheeks again. He was still in a medically induced coma, but you could just tell the ease of breathing was so much better. It was the day before our son's 3rd birthday, so I was so happy that they were gonna have their dad around again.
After I got out of the hospital, my family and I moved to Allentown, to my parents' house, where we were much closer to the city, so we could travel back and forth a few times a week to do checkups, doctor's appointments, different tests that they needed to do.
I didn't feel like I had time to take care of myself, but the foundation then went above and beyond, and they became the people that took care of me, because I was busy taking care of Chris, and they were there every step of the way with anything. At that point, Chris had been out of work for almost 2 years. I'm a stay-at-home mom. They were giving us checks just to make bills, pay our bills. Hotel rooms were constantly offered. We were given gift bags. They even our sons got 2 amazing Donna Crandall gift bags that they now tote their toys around in, and just anything that was needed. And they even offered us unlimited meals at the restaurant. The New York Columbia Presbyterian has a 5-star restaurant, and all of my meals, any of our visitors' meals, and definitely Chris's meals came from that restaurant. At one point, even the chef came in to meet with Chris, and because they saw he wasn't ordering as much or anything, and asked, "What can we make for you? The kitchen is yours. Whatever you would like, it's at your disposal." So it was just amazing that the foundation had reached out to them and made this account so Chris, myself, and all of our family and friends could just spend time together and have fun. And nothing brings people together more than food, good food. So the hospital staff at one point even asked, "Who are you guys? Your wife is always with you. You're not working right now, and she doesn't work. How are you affording all these meals?" And we told them that we were really blessed to live in a community that had the Donna Crandall Foundation that allowed us to have this account at the restaurant. And they're like, "Wow, do you think the other patients on this floor could have access to this foundation?" I said, luckily for us, it's only for the community we live in.
I'm a post-transplant adult now. That being said, I didn't really feel that the Donna Crandall Foundation would focus on any issues I had or medical needs or assistance to help pay for some of the medical expenses. I really thought that it would just be a focused CF foundation, and it turned into much more than that. They were there to really help me and my family over the whole process, pre-transplant and post-transplant, for both that I've had.
want to thank all the supporters from the bottom of my heart. Without the Donna Crandall Foundation, I really don't know where Chris, myself, and the boys would be. They go above and beyond, which means your donations go above and beyond to help people just make bills, make mortgage payments, buy groceries. Every donation that is made to the foundation just brings such joy to us cystic fibrosis, now transplant families.
I don't know what we would have been able to do without the foundation there to support us, and they've been there every step of the way. Thank you.
Thank you is not a big enough word to use. It's just, it brings such tears to my eyes every time I think about what people have done for our family, and most people don't even know who we are, but the help that they give us is just so generous. It's amazing, truly a blessing.